Hey guys, my name is Kiana, aka It's Millennium Fitness, and I'm here to give you guys 5 glute exercises to give you bigger and rounder glutes. You guys can feel free to add maybe 1 or 2 of these exercises to your pre-existing glute regime, or you can just do the entire workout as a whole. Reps and sets will be included in the description down below. Also, you guys, make sure you press the thumbs up button, and if you're feeling even extra generous, please subscribe so I can continue to make more fitness related content. Now with all that being said, let's get started. First up, we have the barbell hip thrust, an amazing compound exercise that primarily targets the gluteus maximus. Grab a bench that is just about knee height and place it up against a wall or any other sturdy surface. Once the barbell is loaded up with weight in a seated position, roll the barbell over you until it is directly over your hips. Also, remember to use thick padding such as a barbell pad or a towel. Bring your feet up and make sure they're about shoulder width apart. Pushing off the ground and driving your forearms into the bench, bring your hips up and return back into the position with the lower shoulder blades resting against the bench. Establish your grip on the bar, which should be wider than hip width, and make any other further adjustments you need to before thrusting. Lower your hips down slowly, then briefly bring them back up until your hips are about level with your knees. At the top, squeeze your glutes hard. Also, make sure that your shins are vertical in a 90-degree angle, also that your feet are slightly externally rotated. Keep your chin tucked and maintain your vision directly in front of you. Your head should not be falling back on the bench and you should not be looking at the ceiling. Here's another side view angle without the weight so you guys can get a better idea. The hip thrust can be loaded with dumbbells, kettlebells, sandbags, and even with body weight if you don't have any weight. A cool variation of this exercise, which makes it a lot harder, is the hip thrust with pauses at the top. In this hip thrust variation, you are going to do a standard hip thrust. However, when you reach the top, you are going to squeeze your glutes and hold that position for about 3 seconds. From there, you're going to lower your hips back down slowly and then repeat. Another variation is hip thrust pulses. In this variation, you're going to do a standard hip thrust. However, when you reach the top, you are going to pulse 3 times and then repeat. A pulse is when you move a certain body part in a tiny repetitive motion. The next exercise is Goblet Squats. This exercise targets your glutes and your quads. For this exercise, you can use a dumbbell, kettlebell, etc. Grab your weight and place it within the palm of your hands. Position the weight so it's just about shoulder level. Your feet are going to be positioned slightly wider than hip width. As far as the position of your toes, that is completely subjective to you, your body, and what you're comfortable with. Some people's toe positions are more narrow while others are more wide. I suggest experimenting with different toe positions and figure out what is more comfortable to you. Remember to keep your core engaged and squat down as low as you feel comfortable. When you come up from the squat, squeeze your glutes hard to further activate your glutes. Remember to keep your feet flat on the ground and don't let the weight shift too far forward on your toes. The third exercise we have is dumbbell RDLs. This targets your gluteus maximus and hamstrings. You can do this exercise with 1 dumbbell, a kettlebell, barbell, etc. You're going to grab 2 dumbbells and hold each in your hand while placing them directly in front of your upper thigh region. Make sure your shoulder blades are retracted and engaged so you don't round your back at the bottom of the movement. Your feet should be just about shoulder width apart. Next, you are going to hinge at the hips and bring the weight halfway down to your shins. You should feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings when doing this. You want to keep the weight as close to you as possible. What you don't want is the weight gravitating too far in front of you. The fourth exercise we have is cable glute kickbacks. This exercise mainly isolates the gluteus maximus. You can use an ankle strap or a handle to attach to the cable machine for this exercise. I personally find the strap to be more comfortable. Bring the cable attachment as low as possible and attach your ankle strap to the machine. You're then going to wrap it just above your ankle joint. Make sure that it's on tightly so it doesn't fall off while doing the exercise. Bring your working leg just behind the stabilizer leg while making sure that it's aligned with the cable attachment site. Bring your upper body down until it's about at a 45-degree angle and firmly grasp the machine. With your working foot positioned just in front of your stabilizer leg, kick back and squeeze your glutes at the top. Bring your foot high up until it reaches slightly over your working glute. Also, make sure that your working leg and stabilizer leg are both slightly bent. If you can't do cable glute kickbacks, you can also do kickbacks with just your body weight or with a resistance band above your knees. Another variation that you can try is donkey kicks. You're going to start off on all fours with your hands directly stacked under your shoulders and your knees directly stacked under your hips. With your knee bent at a 90-degree angle and your spine neutral, you are going to raise your leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your spine neutral, your core engaged, and your hips steady. The fifth exercise we have is hip abductors. This can be done on a hip abduction machine at your local gym. This exercise in and by itself is pretty straightforward. You're going to open your legs as far as you feel comfortable and then return them back into the starting position. Make sure that you don't slam the weights as well. One variation of this exercise is hip abductor pulses. Once your hips are abducted, you're going to repeatedly do tiny pulses. Another variation is hip abductor pauses. Abduct your hips like you normally would for a normal rep. However, when you reach the top of the movement, you're actually going to hold that position for a select period of time. Another great exercise you can do if you don't have a hip abduction machine is fire hydrants. Start out on all fours and lift your leg away from your body at a 45-degree angle, and remember to keep your knee at a 90-degree angle. The last exercise we have is clams, which is another great exercise to work your gluteus medius. First, you are going to lie on your side and have your legs stacked on top of each other. Make sure that your knees are also bent at a 45-degree angle. Raise your heels off the ground and with your upper knee, raise it as far as you can without shifting your pelvis or your hips. At the top of each rep, you are going to squeeze and then come back down and repeat. Also, make sure that your core is engaged and that your lower arm is used as support for your head. You can also use a bit of resistance for this exercise as well. You can use a resistance band just above your knees, or you can use a really light weight placed just below your hips as shown in the clip. Make sure that if you're using a weight that you use your upper arm to stabilize the weight so it doesn't fall off. Thank you guys so much for watching this video until the very end. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Bye!